What is going on, Giants fans? Welcome back to another episode of Bet the Over. I'm your host, Kevbo, and in this episode, we're going to be doing a full draft recap for the New York Football Giants. So let's get right into it. Thanks for tuning back in. So, with the first pick, or the fifth pick in the first round, the Giants took Arvelle Reese. I made a video on that a couple days ago. Check that out. Link will be in the description below. But as time goes on with this Arvelle Reese pick, I do like it more and more. I'm also going to pull up the scouting report for all these players. So with Arvelle Reese, he's 6'4", 1 1/8 inch height, 241 pounds, 32.5-inch arms, and 9.5-inch hands, along with a blistering 4.46 40-yard dash time, tied fastest among the defensive line and linebackers. And then some of the scouting report notes we have on him: hands stay active to help play off, through, and around blocks, has all the tools to become an NFL edge setter, tone setting, hand strikes explode into his targets, length and speed provide playmaking range, a city block wide. So, with the Arvelle Reese pick, originally I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of that. I didn't think the Giants really needed another edge rusher. They got Brian Burns, they got Abdul Carter, and they also have Kayvon Thibodeau for right now. But as the days go by, the pick is growing on me. Arvelle Reese has the upside to be an elite pass rusher, but for next season, they don't really need him to be a full-time pass rusher. They can keep him off ball, which he did mostly at Ohio State. I'll throw up a couple stats up there. So he played mostly off ball, and he was fantastic at it. He's really going to help in the run game. He's super fast, super explosive, and he plays with a lot of power, which is definitely going to help the defense because their outside linebacker, or just linebacker play in general, wasn't necessarily the best. So now they have Tremaine Edmonds, they have Arvelle Reese, and they have Micah McFadden. And he's also the McFadden replacement because Mike is only here for a 1-year prove-it deal. So if they end up moving on from him, he's a great replacement. Overall, I think I'll give this pick an A minus. He was supposed to go number 2 overall. They got him at 5, good value. And sometimes with the draft, it's kind of best to, even though it's maybe not the biggest need, just take the best player there and trust our head coach that'll figure it out and find a great spot to play him. So overall, great pick, A minus. Comment down below what you guys think of that pick. Next, we had pick number 10, offensive lineman Francis Mauigoa from Miami. Let's get into his scouting report. So with Francis Mauigoa, big offensive lineman, 6'5.5", 329 pounds, 33 1/4 inch arms, 10 5/8 inch hands. And the 40-yard dash doesn't necessarily translate too much, but with the scouting report, he's a 3-year starter and a 2025 captain, dense build with broad frame and outstanding lean muscle mass, well-balanced, delivering pop on contact into the opponent's frame, generates torque from hips, and clears out blocks from the gap. So, along with the Arvelle Reese pick, I think the Mauigoa pick is also growing on me. I did kind of want Caleb Downs draft night. That was my original reaction when they took Mauigoa, but Caleb Downs would definitely be more of the exciting safety picks. This defense would be fantastic with him. Playmakers on all 3 levels: defensive line, linebacker, and then safety. However, I do think long-term Mauigoa is probably the better pick because he'll start at guard. You instantly get a starting high-quality guard, the best offensive lineman in the class, in my opinion. That also has versatility. He can play tackle, which he played at Miami. He can play guard, and with the Andrew Thomas history, you might have to send him out to left guard potentially, or maybe throw Illuminor to left guard and then throw Mauigoa at right tackle. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle with Mauigoa. Also, the right guard position going into draft night was Falele and Evan Neal. I always forget Falele's first name, but Evan Neal. If you had either of those two starting at right guard, would you really be confident in them? Plus, this move shows that they want to build around Jackson Dart and protect him. I think it's a great pick. Like I said, it is growing on me. I wanted Caleb Downs originally, but I give this pick an A minus. Great pick. Best offensive lineman. Got him at pick 10. Didn't even think he'd be there. Both their first top two picks were not expected to get to the Giants, and they could have potentially taken either one of them at 5, and they got one at 5 and one at 10. So great first two picks. Really set the tone for John Harbaugh. Sorry, every time I switch off, I probably freeze, but tone setting picks by the new Hall of Fame head coach in John Harbaugh. Okay. Next, in the second round, the Giants took cornerback Colton Hood with the 5th pick in the second round. With Colton Hood, I love this pick. I didn't do any analysis on this, so this is all going to be fresh. But he was projected to go in the first round. Daniel Jeremiah, I messed that up bad, had Colton Hood going pick 20, I think it was, or 18 in the first round. So getting him with the 5th pick in the second round definitely was great value. He's great at man coverage. He is very physical. He reminds me a lot of Deonte Banks, which will give a lot of people flashbacks, but I think he fits Denard Wilson's system fantastic. I'm bad at English. And I think he's going to be ecstatic with his new corner. They definitely needed some corner help. I mean, they do have Paulson Adebo. They have Greg Newsome, Deonte Banks, and a couple other guys, but they definitely needed an upgrade in the corner or the secondary in general, even a safety you could have taken. But I think the value was there for Colton Hood. They did probably want to take a defensive tackle, but I know the Texans jumped them and got the defensive tackle from, I think it was Georgia. I'll put his name up above. I'm blanking on it right now, but they went with the value pick, Colton Hood. Great pick. Let's get into his scouting report. So he's 5'11 and 5/8, 193 pounds, 31 and 3/8 inch arms, 9-inch hands, and ran a 4.44, no Wendy's. And his scouting report is plays with box safety physically in coverage and run support, punches and suffocates outside release against the boundary, demands the catch space on jump battles, gathers and triggers with adequate fluidity from depth. So with Colton Hood, I give this pick also a B plus. Actually, no, A minus. Great value, great player in an area of need. Love the pick and was ecstatic when they sent that card up. Next, we got wide receiver Malachi Fields with the 10th pick in the third round. The Giants did end up trading up for Fields. They gave up a decent amount, so that's going to affect my rating. But with Malachi Fields at a Notre Dame wide receiver, he's 6'4.5", big wide receiver, 218 pounds, 32 and 1/8 inch arms, 9-inch hands, and ran a 4.6 140 with a 38-inch vertical jump. And his scouting report is elite blend of size, strength, and high point talent. Once he gets top position, it's too late for the defender. Top position. And dominant win rate on contested catches during career. Displayed better vertical push on combat routes in 2025. So with the Malachi Fields pick, like I said, they did trade up a lot. They gave up their 4th round pick this year, their 5th round pick this year, and their 4th round pick next year to go up and get this wide receiver. But I do like it. They don't have really a big body wide receiver. You think of Slayton, he's only 5'11 or 6 foot. Malik Neighbors is around 6 foot as well. And then also Darnell Mooney's around the same height. I think he's 5'10" or 5'11". So they definitely needed a taller wide receiver, but they gave up a lot for him. And I would have liked it more if they got him in the 4th round, but they ended up getting him in the 3rd, trading up. I give this pick a C plus. I mean, you could argue a B minus because it is an area of need, but the trades definitely affected that. So overall, I think it was a good pick. And hopefully we get something good out of Malachi Fields. Next, in the 6th round, I mean, these guys I can't really grade too harshly. I don't know if any of them are really going to play too much, but we got Bobby Jamison Travis, defensive tackle out of Auburn. With Bobby, he's a big offensive lineman. Let me get into his stats right now. So you got 6'3" and 3/8 inches, 328 pounds. That's a big, big boy. 34 and 1/4 inch arms and 9 and 5/8 inch hands. NFL scouting report, good size and length along the interior. Uh, Shows first step quickness into the neutral zone or gap. Athleticism in his rush is more evident as a 3 tech, and transfer power from his hips and two hands at the point. So with Bobby Jameson Travis, BJT, not BTJ, unfortunately, but with BJT, I got to get used to saying that. The Giants desperately needed help at defensive tackle. They needed help at defensive tackle before the Dexter Lawrence trade, who was our best run stopper. So you bring him, BTJ or BJT, in, and he's going to instantly make an impact on the run defense. I think he actually will get some starting reps because he's probably the best run stopping defensive tackle we have on the team right now. And that's basically his entire purpose, to eat up blocks and stop the run. He does have some pass rush potential, but for right now, this pick is solely to take up space in the middle of the field. I still think the Giants are going to sign a defensive tackle. Hopefully, it's DJ Reader in free agency. Fingers crossed. But great pick, good value. I mean, I think this is the round where he was projected to go. I think he was projected to go like mid to late fifth. So you're not getting a instant day one star, but you're getting a solid player that can add some value to the team. And that's kind of all you look for in the 6th round. Next, we got JC Davis, offensive tackle out of Illinois. He's also a very big interior offensive lineman. Let's get into his stats. He is 6'4" and 3/8 inches, 322 pounds, 34 and 1/4 inch arms, 10 and 1/8 inch hands. And with the scouting report, he carries good size with massive wingspan and big hands, good timing and consistently on his pin and climb combos, power to torque and turns defenders out of the run gap, drives feet and looks to finish blocks when he has an advantage. So he's JC Davis is probably just signed for depth in the interior. He could fill in for either one of the guards or even maybe John Michael Schmitz at center. Once again, just kind of a depth piece that you can hope John Harbaugh might be able to develop. He's probably not going to start his first year, or at least hopefully, unless there's a significant injury. But he has very good measurables, which you kind of look for in the 6th round. You're drafting based upon like potential, because most of these guys aren't going to start for you day one. But if they have elite size, great athleticism, you can hope you can potentially develop them and bring them into a starting role, or at least contribute in some way, shape, or form. And with the last pick of the draft, the Giants took linebacker out of BYU, Jack Kelly. Let's get into his stats. So with Jack Kelly, you got 6'1" and 5/8, 240 pounds, 31 and 1/8 inch arms, 9 and 1/8 inch hands, ran a 4.57, which is pretty good. That's solid for a linebacker of his size. He delivers firm punch on climbing blocks, adequate speed for most sideline to sideline pursuit, possesses quality play strength, and some nasty in his demeanor. Love that. Love me a nasty middle linebacker. Or, yeah, I think he would mostly be a middle linebacker, a Tremaine Edmonds sub. Once again, he's not really going to start, hopefully, unless there's an injury or a couple injuries to the linebacking core. He might potentially be a special teamers. I mean, like I said, he has pretty good athleticism. He's 240, runs a 4.57, I think it was. So he can definitely move. And if you get a special teamer that can contribute day one, definitely a great pick by the Giants. So that's all of the picks the Giants had in this draft. Let me know down below what you guys rate it. Me personally, I give their draft, it's between a B+ and an A-. I think they did very well. I'll go with A- this time because, number one, I'm biased because I'm a Giants fan. And number two, I think they knocked it out of the park. They got one of the best defensive players in the draft in Arvelle Reese at pick 5, who wasn't even supposed to be there. They got the best offensive lineman, in my opinion, at pick 10 in the 1st round. And then they got a 1st-round corner in the 2nd round in Colton Hood. And they got that big body wide receiver that they can hopefully develop and get some 50-50 balls downfield to him. So comment down below what you guys think. Did you like the draft? Where do you think I'm wrong on some of these ratings? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, comment, subscribe, and bet the over.